And we're live. Hello, hello. Welcome to another live stream. We just got Josh on board. Welcome, Josh.
Hey, thank you. How's it going? What I miss?
We just started. I just counted down. We're in. Getting a little feedback on your side. I also have to get my headphones.
I'll throw on my AirPods. That should fix it. Bear with us, guys. One moment. Testing one, two, three.
Testing,
How's it sounding?
testing. Oh, all right. Testing, testing.
DBK, welcome. He said he's first. Welcome to the chat. So we're gonna have a good
Yes,
one today.
welcome, welcome. Last week was a pretty good live stream. We had some good momentum. Someone showed one of the best coins of the week for gains, and I was like, yeah, I got in on that. Yeah. So I'm
Ooh,
welcoming Shilling. Shill with skill.
shill with skill, guys. You can go ahead, shill the tokens you're investing in, but make sure you shill with skill. Don't just drop the ticker. Give a little bit of why you're into it, or
Mm-hmm.
some good alpha there that we can dive into and be able to break down and share with all of you. So I'm excited to get
Yeah.
into it today. Market's kind of heating up a bit, and even before then, Dan, I kind of want to hear a little bit about what you've been doing personally. I'm not sure if you've been trenching, if you've been airdrop farming, or if you've just been interacting with different things on chain. What have you been up to lately in crypto?
Not much. I felt like I needed to sideline a little bit with the recent
Okay.
market dip, just because, like, oh man, if Trump is mad, that's a lot of uncertainty. You don't know what he's gonna
Yeah.
do to global
Yeah.
economies just because he's having a bad day. So I
Yeah.
don't want to be fully in crypto. I want to have some stable coins, even though the markets are heating up. I want to diversify. I want to look into other opportunities and spend this time, researching right now and just
Yeah.
for better positioning. How about yourself?
That's always a smart thing to do. And for the most part, I've actually been doing that myself. Like, I'm an airdrop hunter, so a lot of the things I interact with, it's retroactive. Like, I'm claiming airdrops that I farmed from a long time ago, things that I've done. But as of lately, I haven't been clicking hard. I haven't been farming as hard as I usually do. But now that the markets are starting to heat up, the trenches are starting to heat up a little bit. I've been looking into a few things. I did pick up a Steady Teddy NFT yesterday,
Yeah, I was
on
wondering
Bear
about that.
Chain.
I want to get your thoughts. What made you make that shift into diving into their ecosystem, their NFTs? Like, what do you see?
Yeah, so I was just dipping my toes, if you will, as I like to
Hmm.
say, dipping my
Hmm.
toes. I wasn't going full trench mode, full on chain mode, but I did see some interesting things. Bear Chain and that whole ecosystem. I was involved in from early, like Olympus DAO, all those different things, and that was some fun times in DeFi, and there was some good gains there. So now Steady Teddy NFT reminds me a lot of early day Bear Chain NFTs, Bong Bear, Boo Bear, Bam Bear. It kind of has that same energy, that same cult like feel, and that same community engagement, and just really passionate community. So I noticed that. I did a little bit of research on that. And let's say the markets do pick up and Bear Chain does happen to catch a bid again, and we start seeing crazy degen stuff. I could see Steady Teddy actually getting some good airdrops. Now, obviously, NFA, but that's a bet I like to take. I didn't go all in. I didn't buy like 50 teddies, but that's just some exposure I wanted to have there. And I think there could be some interesting stuff that happens, both price action wise and airdrop wise. So that's why I picked up a steady teddy.
All right, fair say.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's a lot of opportunities out there, but we don't want to go all in just because we haven't seen the same type of
Exactly.
adoption yet. We haven't seen retail come in, and when they come in, we want to know where they're going because that's where the biggest opportunities are. So we want
Exactly.
to
Where the
look
liquidity is
for,
flowing.
yeah, yeah. We don't want to go all in on one thing because that is incredibly hard to do. We want to
Yeah.
diversify and have a little bit everywhere where we think that is going to grow. So we got some
Exactly.
comments here. Comments are heating up. Let's see. KG Crypto. RWAX is my biggest play. It's launching on Base and Plume and a perp stacks for RWA. So hang on. I actually brought up the chart here. Now we're going to look at the all-time chart, which is, about a year and a half, and the last month. So in the last month, it's up 100%. Over the last year, it's down 90%. So
Damn.
I think things are heating up. Maybe just because of the RWA narrative, maybe because people are looking at these real world assets with the Circle IPO, and they're thinking
Right.
like, all right, if traditional finance comes in, they're going to want something they can rely on, something they understand, and RWAs could be the next narrative. So let's see
Definitely.
what our friend Grok has to say. So I always
I've
ask
actually
Grok because
heard that project be mentioned.
really, okay, so
Yeah.
it is heating up then. Let me
Yeah,
look
I've
at the
heard it. I've
markets.
heard it was actually mentioned to me in the first live stream that I did
Oh.
just a few days ago, from a completely different user. So that's interesting to see that seeing that pop up again. And they said something similar as well. Like they're really bullish on it, and seems like there's conviction there. I haven't done a lot of research on that at all. I actually haven't done any due diligence on that at all. But that's a name I've seen pop up. Those are some good signs, good initial signs, right? Before I go ahead and do deep research on something, I see the sentiment there. There's definitely some sentiment there, so worth a look. But overall, though, my opinion on RWAs, I'm actually not very bullish on them yet. I do see the potential for them. And of course, it's good to position yourself early. But I think that whole sector is actually in beta. Reminds me a lot of GameFi, which I think is another sector that's in beta. In practice, isn't really used yet and isn't really
Yeah.
being put into play like it's supposed to be, and like the white papers say, like the different white papers say. But one day it is a possibility. So right now can't use it. I don't really get bullish on it.
Yeah,
You
you
know
know
what I
what they
mean?
say about GameFi? It's actually PainFi because you never make money in GameFi.
Yeah, you really don't, right? Because you have
Yeah.
all those token economies that really are on a death loop with all the rewards you get from the game. They all say, play to earn in a different way. And then users come on expecting to make a lot of money playing a game. But then when they sell the rewards, the token price goes down. More people play, more people getting rewards. And it's just like a never ending loop, a negative feedback loop. So
Right.
those things need to be corrected. I think RWAs and GameFi are a little too early.
Right. I only think it's worth looking into just because it's been going up the past month. If you kind of have some steady growth, I kind of had like a big spike, but if we see steady growth, that can be an opportunity. You never want to see the opposite of this. If you see a full chart just going down like this, that says it's dying. But
Yeah.
they might be recovering and they might be building something. So we want to find out what's going on, and we want to figure out if it could be an opportunity. And again, this isn't financial advice. This is us just guessing based on
Exactly.
the information we have and the experiences we have. So it's just really our opinion on what's going on. So I just
Yeah,
want to
exactly.
clarify that because it's very hard to pick winners in cryptocurrency. And maybe we should do a video on that, how to pick a
Yeah.
cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So let's see, sentiment is positive with the RWA sector. The app token associated with RWAX has shown resilience. Community sentiment campaign app supporting R50 RWA indexes. This might be something to look into a little more. We got a lot of comments, so we want to catch up with everyone else. But yes, we will look into that this week and maybe tweet about it, chat about it in the Discord. So feel free to join. Links are in the description, as well as
That's right.
to King Capital. He's Josh is tagged in the description, so feel free to give him a follow.
Appreciate that. Yes, I didn't really do an intro for King Capital. I am streaming to the King Capital channel as well. So thank you guys for joining us on episode 2 of King Capital live streams. Joined here with a good friend of the channel, Full Value Dan. You're sure to see him on the channel pretty often. We do a lot of different content together. Definitely go and check out his channel as well. And excited to continue on with the episode.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, Josh is really good at intros on the spot. He has it. He's always locked in on these, and I'm like,
Appreciate
this
that.
Josh. He does
It's a
crypto. I don't know.
freestyle.
Come on, follow him. I just panicked.
Thank you
I
very
just
much.
panicked.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we're live. It's on the spot. It's not prepared.
Right,
So
right.
got to always be ready to put on a show. So I really plan on doing these a lot more often. I want to get to the point where we're doing them every single night, especially when the markets heat up and there's all these different exciting things going on in the trenches. What I really want to do for the King Capital community is take them really under the hood, show them exactly what I'm doing when the trenches heat up. Hopefully we can catch some big plays live on the channel, and I can take the viewers through it, at least just from my perspective, maybe give the audience out there a better way to think about certain things, right?
Actually, I think that is an amazing idea because, just having this real live stream where people can communicate, they can ask questions, they can watch these
Yeah.
full tutorials, because this process isn't smooth. Learning about cryptocurrencies, all these trends, you're going to be all over the place.
100%. So many different rabbit holes, so many different things to go wayward in and things to go wrong. So it's good to be able to see it, especially for new users who don't know how to interact with protocols, farm airdrops, participate in DeFi, different things, get in the trenches. So it's important to show the audience.
And just like one note, if you are looking at new cryptocurrencies, 99% of them you shouldn't invest in. And that's just my experience. Like when I look at things, like I'm not investing in that. And it's just that 1%, like, okay, I think this has some potential.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, over any long period of time, even just on this cycle, very few altcoins actually outperform Bitcoin. I think it's like literally less than 5. Like you got Hyperliquid, SWI, and a few other ones like SPX 6900, a few meme coins,
a few random ones.
Overall, exactly. So that goes to show how hard it is to choose coins for the long term, at least in this cycle. So that being said, Dan, what are you holding, if I may ask, in your portfolio?
All right, so I'm going to say anything I hold short term could be less than 3 months, and we always have to update it based on like different news. But the long-term holds are Bitcoin, Ethereum, SWI. That's like long-term. And then in medium term, I have some stuff in the SWI ecosystem. So that would probably be like 10% of my portfolio. And then another 10% to degen, 10% to degenning for looking for these opportunities. And I have it all separated too, so I don't crash out and just like, no, I lost on this, I'm betting on it again. I'm going all in, 100x leverage. You want those safety nets. You want friction in your accounts where it's just not easy to move everything immediately. At least that's what I do, because it's hard to have that self-control.
Fair say. Are you able to tell us some of those sweet ecosystem plays that you have in your portfolio, or is that top secret?
No, that's not a secret. I've tweeted about a couple of them. It's the SWI projects by Mistin Labs, because I feel like those are underrated, and I think they're gonna cook, especially if we have a bull market, because they're really good at onboarding, branding, and creating that utility. So of course there's Walrus, there's Deepbook, and there's SWI NS, SWI name service. SWI name service is the most underrated one, but everyone's saying all the utility for Walrus and Deepbook, but yes, there is that utility, but no one's actually using it quite yet. And that's the same situation for name service. Now, name service has the potential for creating these organizations around a name where, all right, so I have Dan at Offbrand. It could be Josh at Offbrand. It could be KG Crypto at Offbrand. These would be your name on SWI, so you can send assets directly to that wallet, and it's not .com or anything. It's just at and then the name. So I think that's pretty interesting. Nice. They got some other features that they're automating, so I think it has a lot of potential if people start using it in the ways that they create, or maybe people create new use cases and they actually reached out for the community saying like, hey, you got suggestions, you got ideas, we'll reward the top 5 most insightful ones with $100 or something.
Nice. Okay, so SWI name service, undervalued project, according to Dan. So definitely I'm going to take a deeper look at that. I meant to get involved with that, but I think I just got distracted. There's so many different things in crypto. Did they have an airdrop as well?
They did have an airdrop. The airdrop was all right. And we'd like to welcome Prof Top. He just woke up, clearly. Welcome to the stream.
He just woke up clearly. Just arrived from the airport and slept and woke up like this.
All good. I had to do a little cleaning up myself too, because I got up very recently.
That's the style. Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm
going to bring your audio down a little.
Yeah. We got Prof Top in the building.
Okay, they're better.
Prof Top, have you been getting busy in the trenches at all? Have you been participating in DeFi, buying altcoins? What have you been doing lately in crypto?
More than deeping deep diving in the trenches, I've been more into the physical events here in the
Okay,
Philippines. So it's less in the trenches, but more into the
nice.
physical events where you talk about the basics to the people here, like those who haven't heard about crypto or heard about it but haven't really gone into it. So that's more of what I've been happening. That's why I was on a flight yesterday, something like that. But yeah,
So where are you? Where are you right now?
oh no, I'm back here right now in Manila. I was in Iloilo, which is in the Visayas region, which is the
Oh,
second
okay.
biggest,
Nice.
the third rather.
Nice. Yeah, we like the IRL events too. Me and Dan was in Dubai together for Token 2049 and Sui Base Camp. Hopefully I can come
It's
to
tiring.
Asia.
Yeah, it's
It
It
those
is
are great
pretty
events.
pretty
Yeah,
exhausting. They're great events. Honestly, I loved
yeah.
it. Like I live for it. I had to recover. It took me like almost a week to recover after that. Like we were sometimes we were partying until like 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. It was
Oh
crazy. And
yeah.
then we have the events.
Yeah. Hold on. When he
Not,
says
I'm not,
we,
not Dan, not me, me,
yeah,
me, my,
yeah.
me,
When he
my.
says we,
Yeah,
I'm
not
out.
Dan, not Dan.
Man
Yeah,
partying? Oh, whoa,
my
whoa.
bad. Yeah.
Is your
Yeah,
wife
yeah,
around the
my fault.
area?
His wife
Yeah.
might be listening to the live stream.
No,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
knows
no,
I
not
sleep like at
Dan.
9 o'clock. She's like,
Yeah,
Dan's not there.
exactly. After the crypto events, Dan goes back to his hotel room. Me and some of the other dudes, we go out. And I didn't know Dubai clubs were open till like 5 a.m. So before I knew it, I checked the time. Damn, 3 a.m., 4 a.m. We're in the club and different things, the beach club. Good times, good times. But those
Yeah.
IRL events are fun. What's your favorite conference, Prof Tough?
Recently, I've been enjoying CoinFest in Bali, and probably that's the major one because I like the view from the beach, and
Okay.
the traffic not so much, but the
Yeah.
way it's set up around the beach and everyone, it's very relaxing back there. But yeah,
Mm.
back to you, Josh.
So yeah. Speaking of that, CoinFest Asia is in 2 months. Yes, it's mid-August in Bali. So that's coming up soon. Will you be attending?
Yes, I am. So I'll be seeing you if you're going there.
I
But
might.
yeah,
I might.
hang
I
out.
actually I looked at the map, I looked at the location, I looked at where the normal hotels are, and like that's like an hour away from everything. I'm like,
Oh,
oh
damn.
yeah, an hour,
Yeah,
but that's
that's
an
tough.
hour plus traffic. So I was like, it's it can
Oh,
get
it is.
brutal.
man.
It is. It is.
Yeah,
Usually,
that's
you could
tough.
imagine motorcycle. Have you been there before? Not yet.
I have. It was unpleasant for
I
traffic.
haven't.
Traffic was the worst part. So
Because you have to go through
Dubai
sidewalk
traffic was
riding
bad
on
too.
a motorcycle. So that level, you're not the only one doing that. Just like you're
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
that level of hardcore
So
traffic.
wait, you guys ride the motorcycle? You rent the motorcycle when you're there and you go, or you
Yeah, I
just
have
ride on the
friends
back?
who did that. So I don't really drive it. But this is okay. You
Okay.
drive it. I'll just ride with you.
Yeah. So
Okay. Damn.
let me paint the picture of Bali. So Bali, great tourist destination, wonderful
Mhm.
beaches, but the infrastructure hasn't caught up to the demand yet. So there's a lot of like
Mm.
one-way roads, one car each side, and that really can't support everyone. So they have motorcycles and scooters to get around that. But then that also fills up, and then you have people like riding the motorcycles on the sidewalk too. So it makes walking also very difficult. So
Damn.
it's kind of
That sounds
it's a little
dangerous.
yeah, it is. It is. So
It's very camp roads.
yeah,
That sounds chaotic, man.
a little bit. So you kind of have to be on the outskirts to get that peace where you're outside of that
Okay.
traffic.
Yes. Once
But
you
then
get to
when you
the
want to
beach,
go to
though,
another
it's a different vibe.
destination,
Pain,
okay,
pain,
yeah.
full pain.
Yeah, pain. I feel like you gotta have a hotel like walking distance at least. Hopefully,
Yeah,
that
if you're at
at
the
least close
beachside
by.
hotels, definitely
Yeah.
the vibe is different. You can see the
Mhm.
wave,
Oh,
the beach, and the vibes there. Like
that's the
when
alpha.
we went there, there was a wedding by the beach. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
many people, different
Mhm.
vibe.
That's the alpha, man. I gotta get that beach hotel. That's nice.
Mhm.
So Dan, you're going to
So
Bali?
I might. You might be too. I think if the SWE KOL event happens, because like a few days before that is CoinFest Asia, so I might make that happen.
Okay.
These IRL events
Okay.
are exhausting because I'm mostly introverted, so it sucks out all my energy. So that's why I'm done by like 9 o'clock. I'm like, oh yeah, I can't talk to anyone past 9 o'clock. My battery's drained.
I feel that. So it's in the air if Sui's doing that event in Bali. It's not. It's not
They
like
might.
confirmed.
I think that it's
They're
not
planning on it.
100% confirmed, right? Yeah, they're still planning on it. They're working out the details.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'd love to come to Bali. That'd be fire. We're gonna do some sick IRL content in Bali. I wish I had the channel going back from Dubai, all that stuff. I am gonna post content, catching people up to speed on these events. But sometimes they're really, really dope. Meet all kinds of people, founders, builders, other KOLs, and I really love the experience because it just expands your crypto network, your crypto knowledge, and just your whole, your bandwidth in crypto. So definitely looking forward to hopefully coming to Bali. And
Yeah, absolutely.
if I
Because I remember, oh yeah, I remember
no, no, go
Dubai.
ahead.
You were like sleeping early. You were sleeping in the morning. I was up like when you were still up. I just woke up. I was up at like 5 a.m. walking around, seeing people getting home from the club. I was like, oh, is that Josh? Like, nah, that can't be. Josh texted me, oh, I just got back. I was like, oh, that was Josh. Oh, that was definitely Josh.
Sorry, I missed Josh. I didn't see him in Dubai.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, so when he was waking up, I was just getting home. I was
yeah.
just getting back to the hotel from the
The
night
day
out.
just
And I didn't
ended.
they just ended. The thing is, I'm like, the first time that happened, I'm like, okay, like it's good to have at least one crazy night. Let me just chill tonight. I'm just gonna take it easy. And then boom, next thing I know, I check the time. It's 2 a.m. It's 3 a.m. again. We're
Yeah.
back at it again. So I think like 3 or 4 of those nights we went crazy. But I
But
love Dubai. I
it's
had to soak it in.
I mean, it's understandable because it's so hot during the day that it's hard to go out. Like the real
Yeah.
opportunity is when the sun is down. So that's why I was walking
Yeah.
around early in the morning because like, oh, it's not that hot yet.
Yeah, because it gets scorching, and
Mhm.
yeah, it was definitely an exhausting trip, but still say it was worth it. But I like Asia; it's a different vibe. I did
Mhm.
that last year. I went to Taipei Blockchain Week, and I like that a lot. So if I
Oh
do
yeah.
come to Bali, I think I'm gonna make it just a whole Asia run. I think I'll take the whole month because there's so much
Ooh.
crypto events going on.
Yeah,
It's
we
a
gotta get you some sponsors. We gotta make sure you're working
Yeah,
with these
man.
brands to cover these things because that's
Yeah,
expensive and that's like a month and a half of travel.
yeah. I did 3 weeks last year, last December when I visited you and Kevin,
Mhm.
and we did Taipei Blockchain Week, and yeah, that was solid. That was solid, but like this time around, if I had sponsors and everything like that, it would be definitely a lot more smooth.
All right,
I
so
like
we
the
gotta.
winter.
I think that's what we gotta build up on. We gotta build great content. We gotta reach out to
Yeah,
teams that want these things covered because it's expensive for them to send out people or to
Oh, yeah.
find people to talk about different
exactly.
projects. And if you've been to some of these conventions and you've been to the booths, some people have no idea what their project is. They just hand
Yeah,
you a flyer and like, here. I'm like, well, this did not help me at all.
That's the
yeah.
trade
And if you
secret.
ask them,
That's
Just
yeah.
kidding.
yeah, yeah, a lot of them do that, and a lot of them would hire people that don't even really know about the project, and they're just like wearing a
Mhm.
T-shirt, passing out the pamphlet, so you can
Yeah.
tell right away.
Yeah, and they spend like $10,000 to $20,000 for that booth, and I'm like, all right, well, you're not really selling me on what you're doing here, or if they are, like they don't have the enthusiasm, they're just tired of talking
Exactly.
about it, and it just sounds like they hate the project. I'm like, why would I be in this project then? Why would I be
Yeah,
interested?
that's funny. That's funny.
very,
Yeah,
very true. Yeah. I mean, sometimes there's even just ladies or girls or models just being there at the booth. So like,
Yeah,
are you just attracting people, not the
attract
project?
people. You see that at
but you
every
got
conference.
yeah. But you guys have the experience where like, oh, this could be a terrible project. If they have to market
Yeah,
it with sexy ladies, then like, oh, this is gonna be a bad project.
that's the
They're not
age old.
gonna be
Yeah,
here
that's the
next
age old
year.
trick. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
age old trick. That's it. We were talking about on that last episode that one project that hired an adult actress to be at
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
conference,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It worked. It got people in, but it's not like they're gonna invest in anything. They're like, oh yeah, just look
Yeah,
around and
it's
like, all right, I'm out.
but see, funny enough,
Marketing.
that side event sold out. Right, it was fully subscribed, so that's really funny.
Oh, all
They,
right.
they'll
Well, I
use
guess it
whatever they
works. Like
can.
they,
Yeah, they'll
the
use whatever they
marketing,
can to
it's
attract.
effective.
Yeah, that's marketing. It's
It's
marketing.
gonna make a mark, literally.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
I
just
like this.
heading back in. No, yeah, no. After you, okay. I need an old people convention. KG
I'm,
Crypto.
I'm with that. I'm with that. Yeah, I like the very calm music, not too loud, or you can still have a
Right.
conversation.
Very
Because
cool.
Classical music.
yeah, I
Not too
remember
many
with Josh,
flashing lights, neon.
we went to a BitGet event and it was at a nightclub. And then there were people talking about crypto. They're kind of drunk. They're like yelling into your ear so that they can hear them. You
Right.
can smell and feel their breath. And I'm like, this is unpleasant. This is not how I want to enjoy talking about crypto.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel that. Yeah, that
Was
event
that
was
the one in
crazy.
Dubai?
That was in Dubai,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
You were
one.
in there for like 10 minutes. You hit
Like,
me like I'm
Yeah.
out.
I
But
have no
you
tolerance
just
for it.
finished
I'm not gonna
speaking though.
sit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's fair. You had just finished speaking at an event,
A-
and then
And it
you
was
had to
past
do the
9 o'clock.
Dubai traffic, and it was past
Yeah.
9 o'clock event
I
time.
was like,
You
oh,
go in
yeah.
and it's just like it's literally like a crazy club. Everyone's like
Yeah.
just like drunk and like just dancing, going crazy. Dan's like, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm out. But you
Yeah.
know, that's how
I
it is.
walk.
Open bar, unlimited drinks. You know, they had
Yeah.
unlimited. It was a nice event. I actually enjoyed the event, to be honest. But by the time you got there, it was like it had reached a certain point where it's like it's not a crypto event anymore. You know,
Right. I
it's just
remember
a
walking
party.
in and it just felt like a wall of noise. I'm like, oh man, it's way too
Yeah.
loud.
It went from a crypto event to a party. Like
Yeah.
it made a switch after like an hour and a half because you know they've already done like so many rounds of drinks and everything like that, and they just turned up, blasted the music, brought in some of the girls, and that's what it was. But yeah. Should we segue back into crypto?
Oh yeah, of
Hyperliquid,
course. Yes.
Hyperliquid gaining just a ton of hype, no pun intended, and they've been doing really well. They have all sorts of different narratives flowing around it. You have, of course, James Wynn, who's been opening those crazy longs and shorts. But underneath it, there's been plays that have been pumping. I've been seeing it around a few different Discord servers I'm in. I haven't been participating in Hyperliquid DeFi, but apparently there's a lot of opportunities, and it makes sense. Dan, have you been dabbling at all in Hyperliquid DeFi?
Not yet, but it's on my list because I heard there's a season 2 airdrop. It's something I want to cover. It's something I want to dive into because there are going to be some opportunities there. And it's just such a good on-chain experience from what I've seen that people believe in it. It has that momentum. It has that hype where you can't ignore it. Like these are the projects you have to look at, and you want to be early to these new launches because I know there's quite a few new projects launching on Hyperliquid right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I haven't been participating, but definitely it's caught my attention, and I'm about to hop in more with that. I just pulled up the Hyperliquid stats. I'm trying to see what the
Mhm.
revenues are because they're killing it with the revenue. Yeah, $817 million annualized revenue. And that's just super, super strong. So their season 2 airdrop could be crazy. Now they're earning fees from so many different ways. Obviously, there are perp decks, you've got liquidations, there are blockchain now. So you got gas fees, you got all sorts of
Mhm.
different fees built in. So very, very strong revenues. And they have the firepower to deliver like these big time airdrops. Already their first airdrop, you know, some users got 7 figures, upwards of 7 figures, even 8 figures from the
Yeah.
airdrop, depending on how much you use Hyperliquid and of course how much volume. So definitely I think the airdrop, huge opportunity. And while farming for the airdrop, there's all these new altcoins and plays underneath Hyperliquid that have been popping off. So it's like a two birds one stone thing. So let's say you're hitting these 10x's or you're hitting these or at least getting involved early to some of the strong Hyperliquid altcoins and plays underneath, you're making yourself eligible for that season 2 airdrop in the process as well, because it's probably going to be a criteria.
Are there any
So
specific projects you're looking at in the Hyperliquid ecosystem?
no, not personally, or not that I've bought at least, but
Mhm.
one that I've been seeing. Let me just pull it up right here. One that I've been seeing. A lot of my comrades got a 6x. Let me just pull up the
Ooh.
exact ticker so I'm accurate. Yeah, and it's been holding strong too over the last few days. Milk. The ticker symbol is milk, and you can get it on Hyperswap. I guess that's Hyperliquid's maybe main dex, but milk had a ton of hype, still going strong, and yeah, did a 6x over just a few days, and like there's a lot of early opportunities in Hyperliquid ecosystem, and it's actually the season 3 airdrop that they're on now. I
Oh,
believe.
they're on season 3 already. I definitely missed season 2 then. Shit.
Yeah, it's the season 3 airdrop, and using these things, that's probably going to be a criteria, or at least one of the criteria for getting
Wait,
eligible.
I'm not sure if I found the right milk. Okay, no, that was on the wrong chain. I'm looking through
I can
Deck
send it to
Screener
you.
trying to find it. Yeah, we'll share it on screen here.
Send it to you. One moment.
There's actually way too many coins named Milk right now.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. I'm
There's
trying to
so
search for
many.
Yeah.
it too.
Yeah.
You have
Every
like
day there's
CA.
new ones.
Yeah.
Every day there's new ones. Yeah, I'm just
So
pulling up
yeah,
the
this is the
CA.
dangerous thing. If you hear something trending and you want to get in on it, you have to make sure
Yep.
you find the right one.
Yeah.
How to find the right one?
Hmm.
Yeah, very important thing, and especially for new users,
Change
it's easy
Hyperliquid.
to click on the wrong one.
Hmm.
I'm just getting the CA from Hyperswap real quick.
Or if you want to share your screen.
Yes.
Yeah, this is how
Thing
we
is,
do
I'm on.
research here.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm on Safari. I have to
Oh, it's all
allow.
good. I
I
got
have
it.
to allow the permissions. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
You found it?
No, I can't
Nope.
find it.
Needle in the haystack, sir.
It's kind
Yeah.
of obscure.
I'm gonna get scammed. That's what's gonna happen.
So for everyone watching, yeah, this is just how raw it is when you're looking for that token, especially if it
Mhm.
has so many duplicates. You have to
Mhm,
You
really
want to
mhm.
find
make sure
out
you're
the
on the
source.
right one.
You know, it's
Milk.
kind of
Okay, here
like
we go. It's kind of like what?
it's kind of like you never want to buy the bootleg by accident because it's going to have no value. You're going to lose money. It's kind of like, oh, grandma bought you a PlayStation. You get the PlayStation. Oh, this is a game station. This is not a thing. This is you got robbed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know exactly. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie. In the early days, I've done that before. Bought the wrong one,
It
and then
happens. It's too easy.
next thing you know, you bought a honey pot, or you bought
And you can't
just a
sell.
pure
Yeah.
mug. Yeah,
And that's what happens a lot. So yeah, people count on you to make these types of mistakes.
exactly,
It's just like how you put the wrong website for a
Mhm.
major
Oh,
website.
exactly.
oh, very easily. Yeah, I think someone posted like recently that they were searching for Sweetland and then they got some scam site Sweetland or something like that where they swapped some of the letters. So that's going to happen a lot. Google is your enemy. Google is your enemy in crypto. You want to use AI. You want to ask AI where to find these things and they'll hopefully give you the right answer, or you use X. That's been my experience.
Go to
Yeah,
their X
100%.
account.
Yeah,
and
that was
find it.
ugly. That was ugly. But I got in the private chat. I sent the deck screener link to
Oh, perfect. Got
the
it.
token if you want to pull it up.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's pretty small. It's a pretty small market cap.
Don't
They've
tell me
been
I sent the
around since
wrong-
February.
No, that's the
Fully
one.
diluted 356K. But it has been pumping in the last few days.
It has been pumping.
Jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the liquidity is thin. This was actually
Mhm.
also shared in retail. That was one of the groups that I saw it shared in, and yeah, it's been, I guess, kind of cooking. That's one of them. Volume only at 7K. Honestly, that's pretty small. I can't lie.
Yeah.
And 141K
Yeah, that's.
liquidity. It's pretty.
I mean,
it's
looking at
pretty-
at the size of these trades, it could be one person just sending like $40 each way to get 7,000 in volume. You know,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
17 makers.
but some of the
It's-
boys
it's
hit a
a-
6x. Yeah.
I mean,
some
it
of
was
the
one
boys
of the
hit a
boys.
6x
It was
now.
one of the boys that hit 6x.
One of the boys. Somebody
Yeah,
made money.
one of-
Somebody
Yeah,
lost
one of the
money.
boys run the other boys.
But that could be some alpha though. That is I
be.
guess a pretty small token that some people are talking about in some different groups. A lot of the time, that's how you find things before they totally
That's
pop
true.
off. What's the buzz going on underneath? Different things like that. What's the narrative behind that? What kind of people are holding it? Is it people with influence? People maybe parts of different communities. So that's different ways to potentially find early bangers, because it's not always a coin pops off day one. Sometimes they'll be live for a few days before really catching wind and catching fire and going viral. So that's the way it happens with a lot of these different tokens.
Yeah, and honestly, it's hard to understand what's going on in crypto just because there's too many coins, there's too many ecosystems, there's too much out there, where it really helps to have other people bring attention to the best stuff, because you're gonna find a lot of crap out there, and
Yeah.
you just have to find those very small opportunities. So yeah, and a lot of those are still very short term. So just saying, finding a
Yeah.
coin, being successful in crypto, very challenging.
It is challenging. And honestly, I'm just looking through deck screeners, Hyperliquid category, Hyper EVM,
Mhm.
seeing a lot of meme coins, seeing a lot of
Yeah,
obscurity. This,
yeah.
I guess this is just the top trending in the last day, but even still, to be honest, nothing that makes me like super excited. Like, oh, I gotta. This seems like some crazy alpha. Just a lot of meme coins that are drawing volume.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna
But
be the
I'm
next
gonna have
pump
to
dot
take a
fun.
closer
People are
look.
gonna move there.
Yeah, potentially. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do, I guess, take a deeper look at it because I'm seeing things like bacon, shart, perp coin, but these are all like meme coins. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to investigate more about this hyper EVM plays underneath.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
Hyperliquid itself and the protocol, do you use it to do you guys use it to do perp trading at all? To go long, short,
No, I
leverage?
feel like most of that audience is like the US, just because like if you're outside the US, you have access to all these different exchanges
Right.
where it's just so much easier. Honestly, it's just so
Yeah.
much easier because you could trade perps on like for any chain that is supported there, for any coin that's supported. You don't have to do any bridging or moving funds. The fees are still pretty low. The liquidity is high. So
Right.
it's hard for me to switch just because the experience is so good. But if I was in the situation where you're in the US, you don't have access to these international exchanges, you're going to go to DeFi because that's what your option is. And we're really seeing that growth in Hyperliquid because there is that demand.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
I think we have to get accustomed to that because like Southeast Asia is getting into the banning of these exchanges as well. So yeah,
Oh,
you should probably educate us
Yeah.
here in Asia slowly how you do that
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the rise of the non KYC exchange because a lot of different centralized exchanges are having to shut down in different countries. Ones I used to use, like you can't use Binance here, you can't use Bybit here in Canada, you can't use a lot of the popular exchanges. But I do get a few good ones like BitGet and just a few. So I feel like non KYC exchanges are like the next thing.
Yeah,
We,
yeah. I think that's yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Accessible.
no,
Yeah.
go. We've been seeing them actually, generate their own dexes for each one of them for the past few months, especially during the
I,
latter of last year. Just like
Right.
they have their own chain. I'm not sure if they did that like with BitGet. There's Morph. There's with OKX. They had their own OKX wallet also as well, or their own chain. So those things that's those two most active here. Well, Mexi is Mexi. So those are the three active here at least.
yeah, I actually saw that Mexi supports DEX transactions where you can actually trade from your exchange wallet DEX tokens, and which I thought was like, oh, that's fantastic. You can have everything sorted out with all the complications that we have in DeFi already.
Right.
Guess they were miles ahead. They anticipated the move of the government or something. Even when the SEC of US actually, cleared the case against Binance, but that wasn't the case for the Southeast Asian countries, at least.
Yeah. So I just want to bring this up real quick. Mexi, we're on their deck side. You can see they're supporting Pump Fund, Radium, Launch Lab, maybe Bonk's ecosystem, and they're showing all the new coins that are launching seconds ago, and they always start off with a market cap of a few thousand, a few trades, and yeah, you can absolutely gamble here, but I would not touch any of these, just because you don't know if it's going to be a honeypot, you don't know if they're just going to rug. It's just it's incredibly dangerous to touch those this early.
Yeah, instead of touching on those, like what you said, Dan, it's more of like
Mhm.
exposing yourself
Yeah,
and seeing how it looks like based from certain metrics that we usually assess, like trades, trading volume,
true.
liquidity, activity.
Yeah.
Those things you have to first, assess for yourself how these grow or like monitor these things. Oh, the last
Mhm.
day it's like this, and then it booms from somewhere. It's from less than
Right.
100K to a 1M, and then there you would see how the growth would come like, and then find the pattern there.
Yeah, you know, you never want to be the first one to the party. You want to let things, grow a little bit to see if it's gonna
I
survive.
like that one.
Because if you're the first one at the party, so you're not gonna have a good time.
Just like surfing, you have to let it have that momentum. You don't ride
Mhm.
on the first wave of sorts, something like that. If for those who surf,
Exactly.
You dip your toes, man. As I like
You,
to say,
you
dip
dip
your
your
toes.
toes. Yeah.
Dip your toes. You don't have to go all
Yeah.
in at once. Dip your toes. Pump.fun. I don't think we talked about it yet on the channel. Pump.fun token launch. Now that you guys have digested some more of the information, are you guys gonna buy it at all? Are you gonna maybe just dip your toes so you can follow up with just some of the news that happens around it? Be more
I'm
engaged.
gonna stay sideline. I'm gonna stay sideline on this.
Sideline that.
Did,
Okay.
did they launch already, or do you know when they're launching?
I don't know when they're launching, but I don't think they went live. Definitely, you'd see it all over X. I didn't do that deep scrolling today. Prof Toff, are you gonna do it?
for Pump Fun, probably not. But speaking of
No.
these type of launches for what they call platforms, I'm not sure if you've heard of it because I met someone from Dubai from one side event. OpenSea is also planning to have a token of sorts.
Oh yeah,
Was that already being announced or anything publicly?
yeah. That's
Yeah,
announced publicly. They
through
have a campaign going on right now.
on
They
Kaito.
have the
Yeah.
airdrop camp. Oh, they got Kaido as well going too. I didn't
Yeah.
even know they were doing
Ooh.
Kaido. Yeah. Actually, yeah, they have a huge mindshare, monopoly, not monopoly, but they're dominating up there. I saw for
Mhm.
a while they were, but they announced their airdrop campaign. I made a short about it a few months ago. I think like many months ago, but they're doing it's. I'm intrigued to see how they're gonna do it. Okay, they're down to 3% now, but I remember at a while,
Mhm.
they had a larger, they had a bigger
Mhm.
spike there. But long story short, I'm very intrigued to see how that token launch goes because they're rewarding retroactive users of NFTs. So if you were trading during the 2021 NFT bull run,
Oh yeah.
you could potentially be seeing some retroactive rewards. I know I was trading some like apes, different things like that,
Oh yeah.
and building up lots of volume. Even just like trading in and out, or even using certain GameFi and buying different assets on OpenSea. That was like the only place to go back then. So
Everywhere.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of volume for a lot of users. Whereas now there's so many different NFT marketplaces. OpenSea has so many different competitors, but OpenSea back in its heyday was like the king of
He was
NFTs.
the only one
So
there. Magic
Right.
even did this first.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That was like they had the NFT game in a headlock. So I'm intrigued to see how they do. They're definitely sitting on a lot of capital. They definitely are still, they definitely have the ammunition to make something interesting happen. So I want to see what goes on from that launch. Hopefully I get a good allocation, but we'll see what happens.
But what are you gonna do if you get an allocation?
I'm
Sell?
gonna dump it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Of
what's gonna
course, I'm
happen.
gonna
It's a
dump it. Yeah,
race.
I'm gonna dump
It's
it.
a race.
First to dump
I'm
it,
gonna dump
sir.
it, man. I'm gonna dump it.
Yeah.
That's just my
You have
philosophy
to.
though on all
Yeah.
airdrops though. That's my
Yeah.
philosophy on all airdrops. And honestly though, if there was one that I was to not dump, potentially
Mhm.
OpenSea would actually fit that criteria of one to potentially hold. Their revenues just over the years were very strong. Different things. They have very deep resources, connections to everyone in the game. So like
Yeah.
if a project did have what it takes to actually pump following a big airdrop, I would think it'd be one like them. However, my philosophy for all airdrops, I sell 80 to 100% right away, no matter what. Because I mean,
Just
burn
don't dip.
ahead, go ahead, secure, lock in those profits. Most
Yeah.
airdrops lose so much value even just after the first few days because a bunch of people just got a bunch of free money. So
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect to happen, man?
Yeah. You give people a bunch of free money and like nothing to do with it on the platform. So like, all right, well,
Yeah.
we'll dump it. Yeah.
Very rarely do you see a token pump after the airdrop. It happened with a few ones, true unicorns like Hyperliquid, right? True
Hyperliquid. So
unicorns, Jitto on Solana back when it dropped. A lot of users got 5 figures, and it actually 2x by the next day.
yeah.
So
So let's talk about why Hyperliquid's airdrop was so successful. I think they didn't have any VCs, right? Was that part of it? Where they didn't have like
yeah,
any token sales. You had to buy it in the open market. And to earn it, you couldn't farm it. You couldn't farm it for free. You had to be a real user, and you had to go through, I think, their KYC or something to like qualify. There were a lot of hurdles, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's rare to see a project that's so product first and not relying on big VC backing for their launch, at least, because I believe they actually raised later on, but
Mm-hmm.
during their launch it was just all from the product. Like they had Hyperliquid perps, and if you use, that's how they were earning the revenue, and they did it pretty much built up from I won't say the community, but they built it more from the ground up rather than raising a bunch of money and then delivering. They went product first, great product, and they didn't need VCs, and they had a lot of success in that way. So, but it's rare to see that though, right? That's again a unicorn, even in the crypto space.
Absolutely. So let's go over some comments here. We'll catch up on some. Let's see. Let's space and time. This is insane. My skill's not much in typing, but it's used for AI, gaming, steps. Are you guys familiar with this one? Space and time. That's a long name though, and I feel like you're gonna get a lot of different things. So I'm gonna bring up the chart here.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
Oh, chart not good. Chart is bad. So they launched a few months ago, and it's downhill. I'm out. I see that's a SHILL, but it's not. Yeah, I mean the market cap is pretty high.
It could be worse.
So it must have been. They must have raised a significant amount for them to have such a high market cap, fully diluted at 500 million, circulating supply about 28%. It's on Binance too. All right, let's open the website. Let's see what this is like.
To be honest, down 36%. Like obviously that sucks, but that's not the way crypto works. That's actually not that bad. It could be a lot worse.
Be fixed in one day. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You see tokens pump 100% in a day plus.
So we got the audits. I'm not skeptical on a lot of this, because you know how we were talking about if it has too much terminology and it's not very clear what they do or the demand.
Yeah.
You want to bail. So all right, Launch Studio. This is their application.
Okay.
He says he has a bag of 20 projects, but this is one of them. All right. Oh, this is a very technical product. So I guess it helps you build contracts or data sets. Yeah, this is
everyone.
Yeah,
it's
which isn't that exciting. Yeah, unless people start using it. Get data from chain. All right, so not really for regular users. We'll have to see if that turns into something. I'd say their biggest competitor, just at a glance, would probably be Open Zeppelin, which does contracts for almost every blockchain, where they create these libraries. They're funded by the blockchain itself to make sure that they support developers. So let's see. It might be too early for that one. We want momentum. We don't want a down chart. We want a chart that's going up.
True. No, it's true. The trend is your friend in crypto.
Yes.
So if we are trenching, we want something with relative momentum. It's true.
Yes.
NFTs
so someone says
NFTs will go to Los Dunis on Sui, giving the vibes of Bored Apes.
Yeah, I actually had one of those for a little bit. So if you're not familiar, I am. I actually bought one at 20 Sui and I sold at 80. So, I like to go with momentum. I didn't buy a lot. It was just like kind of curious. People like the artwork. This is what it looks like. Right now, the floor price is 78. Instant sell 51. So that's the highest bid. I did sell the top. I felt pretty good about that.
The top.
Yeah, when the floor turned into 100, I was like, I had a bid out there offered to sell.
There you go. Well, hey, man, profit is profit. You got out of there.
Yeah. So Los Dunis, they're giving Bored Ape vibes. I mean, the community is pretty strong. They get a lot of engagement. The price is still relatively affordable. I don't trade NFTs really, so those are the hardest to determine demand. And there haven't been a lot of successful NFTs in recent days. You know, like people kind of realize like, well, if it's not going up, I lose interest and sell, and that's just what happens with NFTs. I don't know what's
Yeah,
your
it's
thoughts,
tough with
because
the
Josh,
NFT game.
you just got in, the
I just
Para
bought an
community.
NFT.
Yeah,
I just bought an NFT. You know, very few. It's similar with tokens. Same philosophy. It's very few that actually stand the test of time and actually pump over, a given amount of time. Very few that stay strong or just survive through adversity, like resilient NFT projects or meme coins that don't just last a few days or a week
Very
before
Mhm.
true.
dying out and community leaving. One where the community actually sticks, the community actually stays, has that staying power. Certain NFTs do that even throughout the bear market and the NFT bear market. Some that have stood strong, like for instance, let's say Mad Lads, they had a huge season on
Yeah.
Solana. You had you know the Celestia based ones, like I'm not sure if you heard about Mammoth. There was Celestine Sloths, and there was Bat Kids Art. Those ones were on Cosmos, which is super obscure, but they had a lot of success because they had a very passionate community, and they were able to get airdrops and just build a identity for themselves. And that's why I picked up a Steady Teddy. I'm getting those same vibes from that. One of
Ooh.
those rare NFT projects that have that sticky community that whether floor price is up or down, they're always active. They're always making connections. These founders are always present in the space. They show up every day. Those are the NFT projects that you see getting big airdrops. For instance, if you held a Bad Kids NFT, you got like over, I think it was like a span of like 4 or 5 months, you made over like 40 grand in
God damn.
airdrops. You got the wormhole airdrop. Everyone got 11K up front off the rip, fully unlocked. You got just all the big ones that were coming out, they were getting. So I see that potential for the Steady Teddies, and that's why I went ahead and got that one. Dip my toes. I didn't sweep the
Dip the
whole
toes.
floor.
Yeah,
Dip my toes,
but
man. So
but
I'm
but
happy
let's
with
break
that pick. So
down.
I'm watching that one. Yeah.
I think that's the framework for finding a successful NFT community. You need a
Yeah.
passionate community that keeps talking about it,
100%.
and you also need teams that will reach out and get you airdrops. Like, hey, we got this passionate community. We're gonna support your project. You give them an airdrop. They're not gonna stop talking about you.
You nailed it on the head, and that's what you look for. Those are the NFT projects that eventually get to that level, like Bad Kids got to, or Mad Lads got to, where they're getting these insane airdrops because they choose communities that are going to help push the project, that are going to hold and just really rep the project. For example, Steady Teddy's bought one, made it my PFP. I posted it on X. I tagged them. Just got my Steady Teddy PFP, and then boom, uh, the Steady Teddy account retweets it. All the whole bunch of Steady Teddy community goes, "Welcome to the community." You see, boom, boom, boom. That tweet did really well right away because all the Teddies rallied around each other. They rallied together, and they're always pushing Teddies and supporting Teddies. It sounds so ridiculous to say the Teddies, but
No, that's a good
that's what you want
community.
to see. And that's a good sign. And so projects that are airdropping communities, they see that. That's how the community behaves. They want that energy for their project. They want that type of passion behind their project. So they onboard projects like us, right?
Yeah.
And you see
So
it
if you're
time and
looking
time
for a
again.
strong community, Steady Teddies or off-brand crypto, which is what we're working on. We
There you go.
want to
Yes.
give you airdrops, and the way to have that is to have this strong community. And we also have like
That's
this
right.
NFT thing that we're working on that might be good, might be terrible. We'll see. It's gonna be uh, pretty much just the cost of gas on Sui, which is almost nothing to get involved. So that is something that you can look forward to in the next few weeks.
100%. I think it's gonna be a banger. I have a little bit of a differing opinion. I think it's gonna be a banger. So definitely
You
check it
have
out.
to, yeah.
As Dan mentioned, just for the price of gas, why not join the ride? Off-brand community. I haven't really talked about it yet on King Capital, but the off-brand community, we're building a really exciting NFT project community. There's a whole lot of fun stuff packed in there. So can't wait to talk about that more on this channel with Dan, with Prof Toff, and the off-brand team. So
Yeah,
stay tuned for
like
that.
if you remember like some of our other fun ideas like homeless now and a couple other things, off-brand crypto is
Man,
going to
that was
encompass all of that.
it's gonna encompass all that. Homeless Dial, man, that had a special place in my heart. We're gonna deliver eventually. But off-brand crypto, very exciting, and we got some fun stuff on the way.
Awesome. So let's get into some other comments. Still bullish on Giza. So Giza was mentioned in our live stream last week, and they cooked this week. I got like 150% gains. We're using this for the off-brand 100x challenge. Turned $1,000 into about 3,000 right now. I sold a little bit just to maybe hold, just to find out what happened. So this is the kind of shill with skill we like when we see this momentum, and we want to get involved with it.
Wow.
So I'm gonna hold half. Yeah.
I'm just
you're gonna
curious,
hold half your
Dan,
bag?
when you see that momentum.
What's that?
No, I'm just curious, Dan. When you see that momentum on that scale, do you actually do like technical analysis? You do use, lines and so forth, or you just see it overview in volume?
Overview. So I saw this is what I liked about it. One, it's a new coin. Two, the investors were really reputable. They're not known for dumping. They were just like, okay, they're very well respected. So that means they're going to have their tokens locked for at least 6 months. They're not going to do an immediate dump. And that the product was pretty substantial. So it is a product that offers you to get the highest yield on safe platforms. They use AI agents. I know AI agents is kind of a buzzword, so I was a little skeptical. But all of that kind of lined up with the momentum to say, like, all right, might want to get a little exposure with this to see what happens. Because their product offers you about 6% APY, which isn't that interesting at all. But I guess the opportunity is in the AI agent, in the token. Yeah. So I said, all right, I'll this will be a good good start to the trading challenge. And yeah, we're up, which is great. I don't know if we'll get to 100K, but we're at 3K right now from 1. So pretty good.
100K, yeah. You can do it. That's exciting. I want to do something like that too. I'm getting ideas for the King Capital channel. 1K bag, 1K trench bag. What can we do with that?
Yeah.
What comes first, 0 or 10K?
Yeah, that's very possible. That's very possible. 100x leverage, 1 hour. So I think it'd be fun to do something like that. Or if we do like a Yap Night, maybe we do a live stream with everyone. We start yapping about projects. We engage with other community tweets. We know we got to draw in some smart followers too, just so we can get on that Yap board.
Oh, Yap Night for Kaito. I thought you meant like Yap Night for the stream. I was going to say every night is Yap Night. I mean, that's what we're doing now.
A little bit of both. Yeah, we can do both because I think that'd be fun. Yeah. Like, all right, how much could we get yapping every day? And it's just us on stream looking at Kaito, getting those followers, engaging with them, setting up alerts, and then, having the community tweet as well. And then we all kind of engage with each other.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's fun. Billy Laser, we're live right now. He's asking if this is live or a replay. It's not a replay. We're live
we are live. Yes. Hello, Billy. Welcome, Billy Laser, great supporter of the Full Value Dan channel. So shout out to him. I don't know his socials or anything, but yeah, he's a great guy, always supportive. And, you see that as a content creator because a lot of the comments are bots, are scam bots. And, we have no control of that, by the way. And YouTube does not want to fix that. So like, all right, well, it's a waste of time to keep blocking these because there's new accounts every day.
Just pops up. Just keeps popping up.
Well, it's free engagement. Shout out to
Billy Laser, man. We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. So
now, Crypto Bullcoin. Well, actually, yeah.
Go ahead.
Crypto Bullcoin said, "Will Tau explode?" I keep on hearing so many bullish things about Tau, the Bitcoin of AI. They say, "Dan, are you in Tau?" Prof Tau.
I'm not. I'm not in Tau.
But I have one friend who did it with $30 when Tau was just 30. Ooh. I'm like, ooh. Damn.
That's cool.
Was that like a year ago? So yeah, lucky community. They were in there. But yeah, I mean, he still has a part of his portfolio, but definitely BitTensor hasn't been back to its top. But still in there somewhere. But definitely, if you are trying to accumulate, probably DCA, but not go all in because it's too expensive right now.
Yeah. So dip your toes. For me, it's too technical. I'm a technical guy. I love AI, but I'm like, I just don't get it. I just don't get the extra complications. I've used some of their products, But in Web 2, AI develops so quickly that Web 3 doesn't stand a chance unless, they're ahead of what's happening in Web 2. Like, who's going to want to use their platform if they're getting something newer, faster, better, that's easily available without having to use crypto already,
Right. I mean, fair to say, Tao's hard to understand, and that's one thing. Like, to be honest, anything that's too hard to understand, I feel like that's a barrier for onboarding new users.
Yes.
Absolutely.
To be honest,
It's like the
because
Matrix or something.
exactly, because to me, any investment that for you to have real conviction in it, true conviction, and actually not sell, like when things go down or whatever, is to fully understand it. Um, and once you fully understand it, like, and like, let's say the real potential of it through and through, then that's how you have really strong holders. So if people are just holding because it's the popular thing to do, when the going gets tough or when it pumps, I feel like it's they'll sell. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So I wanted to bring up this video real quick. This is what VO3 made. VO3 makes amazing AI videos. These are 8 seconds. And it's $20 a month. It's $20 a month to make any kind of AI video you want, which is amazing. So it's really hard for AI companies to really compete with this. I'm sure BitTensor has opportunities, but I just it's too hard to get involved. Yeah. Right now, though, there could be some big announcements. There's a BitTensor Proof of Talk in Paris right now. So it's a big BitTensor conference, some big financial players there. I don't know if there's going to be some amazing announcements that'll get people interested, might be some big alpha. It could be a short-term trade, either bullish or bearish. I have no idea.
Just ride the wave.
Yeah.
Ride the wave. Dip your toes, man. Interesting. Favorite InfoFi and SocialFi.
Like 10 Social. Yeah, so InfoFi and SocialFi has been around for a while, and it's kind of hard for any of these to really gain traction. Probably the most successful one has been Kaito with their token and their rewards and their staking program. So they have the largest share. And, we have these other launches like Farcaster Pro in the last few weeks, where it was like $120 subscription. You got that. And then they launched a token and people got $600 in rewards for that. So there are a lot of opportunities right now, I think, especially for projects that have raised significant capital, like Farcaster. Maybe we got to yap there too. We got to get all over the place with that, with our community yapping.
Yeah, that's one thing. There's so many different new initiatives and things popping up, but I like that you focus on the quality ones like Farcaster. Back in the day, I say back in the day, crypto moves so fast, but there was a time where Farcaster had a ton of hype and a ton of activity on it, and projects were building directly in it. I don't hear too much about Farcaster that much as of recently.
Yeah.
Is that something that you still normally use?
Not really, because my algorithm shit there. It's absolute shit. Like, I'm not interested in any of the tweets. It shows me the most popular tweets, but those people got popular for like different reasons, and it's not like crypto related or things I'm interested in. So the thing lacking there is a good algorithm. And when you post there too, it's hard to get engagement unless you've already built up a following. So you really have to be a reply guy to active people on there. And I think some people just, multi-publish their tweets and they don't check Farcaster. So you kind of have to find out who's actually active there, who's replying, and build up an audience, which is difficult. It's time consuming. And I try to focus on maybe video content more just because that's where I think we have more of an opportunity.
Yeah. Fair say. And then, so you have, I guess, Kaito. There was Laudio. There was 1 or 2 days on X where that's all you were seeing, and now it's dead. What's going on with Laudio? I'm not sure if you participated.
I didn't. Well, I made a video talking about how stupid it was just because the product is just talking about it. And, they came up with a meme coin with it, and they dedicated the fees for the Loud.io participants, but also there was like a 5% buy and sell tax. So I was like, that's crazy high. So that's why the incentives really got, the incentives were worth it for people to tweet about. Now, that was like one of the most annoying time periods in Twitter, just because I was like, it was so
That's all
annoying.
you
They
would
just
see.
kept talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which tells you, like, if there are incentives, people are going to talk about it. And we don't even know if these are real people. They could be bots. They're just looking for engagement to get at the top of that board.
Yeah. Anytime there's rewards, farmers will come.
Yeah,
Build it and the
absolutely.
farmers will come. That kind of reminds me, that's kind of been the vibe now, or the method for crypto founders building things in building DeFi protocols and gaining attention and gaining traction. You see things like these social events like Kaito, InfoFi, where they're rewarding users to talk about them and to go out there and do that. That's kind of like the way to build that initial community now. You
Hmm.
have to have people talking about you all over X. So, I mean, there is a product market fit from a business standpoint, from like a B2B standpoint. So, I
Hmm.
mean, I can
Just to
see I can
chime
see InfoFi continuing to do well, in my
Let me
opinion.
see. Okay, haven't really dived into InfoFi. Just to chime into the
Hmm.
discussion. Um, is it really that much effective right now? I mean, probably just a 3 month run or until their airdrop comes in, but definitely, I
Quite,
mean,
yeah. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it just dies out after that. Am I right
Hmm.
in saying that? And
Absolutely.
in social fi as well, you're still staying in the traditional web 2 quote unquote
Hmm.
platforms, and then you're just there for your airdrop. And these products
Yeah.
tend to have that lifespan in terms of gaming. They gamified it of sorts just to get you
Mhm.
incentivized, but none of these last because there's no real, they're not overthrowing any of the top media platform. So why do we think it's something that they keep on pushing as of now to just test out? I mean, social files specifically, like why do you need to make a new one in Web3 or for those users who have not yet dived into Web3?
Well, I think crypto companies, they have a big marketing budget because the only way to drive price action is marketing. So they need
Hmm.
like an easy solution to say, hey, we need people talking about this. The old traditional way is like reaching out to a bunch of influencers, creating deals with them, and then having them tweet, which was it's very slow, it's time consuming. So I do understand that, like, hey, having this decentralized marketplace where people just tweet about it, best tweets, best engagement gets rewarded for that. But at the same time, a lot of it is botted. You see people
Oh
following
yes.
10,000, like, okay, this person's a smart follower, but they're following
Mhm.
10,000 people. I was like, this is not a smart follower. This is a botter. This is an engagement guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, again, that's like different methods, if you will, that the farmers are pulling until things get, I guess, a little bit more sophisticated. But Prof Top, to your point where you're saying, why do they need to build new
Yeah.
social media platforms? I totally agree, to be honest. I don't think there's a need for that. That's why InfoFi I like.
Yeah.
SocialFi, I'm not bullish on, to be honest with you. InfoFi I like because we do definitely live in the attention economy. Information is a currency pretty much. That's why you're seeing it pretty much become a market, and like an information market or a attention market. That's pretty much what Kaito is, and some of these SocialFi projects are. So basically, new projects are always going to need attention, marketing, and I feel like there's always going to be a demand for that to some degree. I feel like as long as these projects can continue to like evolve and adapt to how the markets are moving and how users are behaving, I think they can stand the test of time, in my opinion. Might not be Kaito itself, or maybe it will
Yeah.
be, but once this InfoFi sort of formula gets perfected, it's
Yeah.
something that new projects are always going to want, right? Especially in the early phases of
Right.
getting attention. So I'm
Yeah.
bullish
But
on
I think
InfoFi, bearish on
I
SocialFi.
think you should be bullish on getting rewards, but at the same time, investing in one platform is kind of dangerous because there's nothing holding the attention of the people creating that content.
Yes.
They'll go to wherever the rewards are.
Yeah,
Definitely. And just to
exactly.
connect the dots based on what's happening on social fi, I think it would be better if like us communities like us off brand or full value dan community, because there's so much noise right now in social media. I think the major
Hmm.
purpose of having a social fi is if you just want a certain type of news, non-biased, non-paid, you just get what you want. That's probably the best way to use it, because you just customize it. Because right now, when you go to any platform, the best or the trending news will definitely be manipulated at some point.
Yes.
You know that. But if you are customizing it to have the better view of what you need, what feeds you, what is on your feed, I think that's a better way of having that use case instead of just incentivizing people. So maybe a change in the structure, and at the same time finding a way of that balance, cutting down the noise, and not just entirely creating a new platform, but just having that, KG Crypto said it seems like a Facebook for crypto users. So having that level of authority, that you're talking about topic not approved here like in the blue app, and then discussing it here in the web3 version of this app, is having that, I could just talk to people in crypto, talk about what we're doing right here, and in off brand, because definitely some people are not as engaged in certain platforms. So maybe it could be a niche down version of that, or maybe a way to filter these things, but rather like a complementing to the usual tools or the social platforms. But this is a rough idea for me, but
Right, right. Yeah, I agree. It's just maybe that's what we have to create. Maybe it's like, all right, here's the top
this
posts
is
that we
like
saw. This is what we engaged with. This is the things you should be watching in crypto today. And
real
it's just
people.
what we liked, because it's like
Yeah,
that's our like list.
this is our DBZ scale of what's happening in crypto.
Exactly.
Like to
It's
the
like
week and
this is the
circle.
Goku news. This is the weird Yamcha news. Like, all right, well, something weird happened today, and this is what it was.
Can quickly fire that out right now. Actually, like Goku level news, I'll say definitely Circle's IPO had a ton of success. Not
Yes.
sure if you saw how it actually did the stock. It was
Yeah.
like
It's
it did
crazy.
some X. It was moving like a crypto. It was moving like a
Yeah.
crypto, and this is a stable coin company. Circle, that's definitely Goku level news in my opinion. I got to give Pump Fund token launch Goku level news as well for the week, as far as it being the biggest platform in DeFi and crypto. And then another Goku level news, I guess you got to throw in Trump versus Elon, right?
Oh yeah.
That's like super viral.
Oh
That's
yeah,
massive. That's moving the markets,
Yeah, that's
man.
Broly. That's kind of like a Broly, a
Yeah.
little bit of a
$1 billion
Broly news.
liquidations,
Like
Yeah. So
earth-shattering news. Yeah.
yeah. It's like the
changing the
tournament of power.
multiverse
I'm not sure if
Yeah.
y'all. Yeah, I'm
power
not sure if y'all
scale.
watch Super. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's like the tournament of power with that one. So we'll see what happens there. Elon, one of the biggest figures in tech, obviously. Donald Trump, probably most influential figure in the world right now, maybe. So
Yeah.
definitely market moving stuff. Watching that close, and then there's some, I guess, Yamcha news. What would you even say? There's just some things like, I guess,
We could probably have a table moving
Ha-
them to a.
Hezbollah Hezbollah coin rugged. So yeah, it's like okay, you were kind of expecting that. You were expecting that.
exactly.
Yeah.
As Villacoin rug. I
Yeah.
guess Hawk Tour girl, she came back
Oh
and she's
yeah,
sorry, something like that.
we
I'm
should
not sure
follow up
what
on
that
those
was, but
news
she's
for those
back.
people.
Yeah,
That is good news. Maybe
yeah.
this could be a pretty good segment. Like if we were on every social, like, all right, this is what you really should have been watching this week
Yes,
in
Yeah,
crypto, against
just
so you
like a
don't have
lot
all
of
the noise.
oh yeah, Elon and
exactly.
Trump are the number one KOLs in the world.
Yeah,
Technically,
they can move the market. Yeah.
Trump is
Number
the
one
first social
KOL.
media president of the world. Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Elon probably shorted Tesla. He's like, oh, I know he's gonna be mad. He's gonna take away my
Yeah.
benefits. Tesla's gonna go
They're
down. It's like, all right, let me piss him off.
they're playing a completely different game than we are. So I mean, it's definitely on us to make sure we're being vigilant, because they know where the markets are going to go. Trump
Mhm.
knows what his next tweet is, right? They're playing a
Oh
different game.
yes,
They're playing
calculated.
4D chess. Yeah, they're playing 4D chess, and we're left to with the results of whatever happens. So definitely got to position ourselves. It's good to be a contrarian in these type of events, in these type of markets, because there's always a twist, right? When things are
Mhm.
bullish,
Yes.
then some bearish news comes out, right? Things are bearish, and then some euphoric news comes out.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
the DBZ scale actually, feels like, in crypto there's whales versus whales. But they when put it in DBZ perspective, it's like Universe One versus Universe Two or whatever. Like
Yeah, yeah,
like just like Elon's own universe is fighting this
yeah,
one
yeah.
because they're making world-shattering moves, is like we mentioned earlier. So having these
Right.
events happen in the smaller scale events, like the citywide events, like Yamcha events. So these are things that people are not yet aware of, and I think it's one way for us to these guys. You have to this is a world-shattering event, so
Right,
like
right.
focus
Yeah.
on local level Super Saiyan people, and then these are like the weird events, like the Piccolo scale or something like that. So we could probably discuss more into like a certain theme of the day, just like they're asking,
Right.
is this where do you put this on the scale, this
Right.
not to mention the term, but I have to. This porn star in Jam Star in did this blah blah blah, where do you put this? Like they're
Right.
starting their own tokens or coins in crypto, but we're not sure if is it their team, is it them actually just participating in Web3
Mm.
and so forth, because the tech is not for everyone, the technical stuff. That's why we like actual use case.
Mhm.
So when we actually find these people jumping into the trend, just like the Hawk Tour girl that you mentioned and so forth, so
Right.
why do these people, where do they put in the picture? So having that better scaling or the world building type of things is what we're going to discuss, and maybe people can just agree on the tier list of sorts, how we actually put everything into the picture, like meme coins, the news on FOMC, trading in general. So for those the highly technical guys, do you actually need this or just more on the fundamentals? So it's a mix of these things happening all at the same time, but we divide it into something that is consumable and not too tasking to like oversee. Oh, a lot of things are happening, but
Yeah.
just you see, when two Super Saiyans fight, you just see flashes, right? But we break it down frame by frame, not exactly the
Yes.
winning shot or whatnot. So that's how the off brand, I think, is gonna work sometime, and letting you guys okay, eat the news bite per bite. I'm not sure if that works out right,
But
but
yeah,
yeah,
make it more digestible. Yeah.
yes, that's the
More
term. Sorry.
digestible.
Hmm.
Yes, 100%, 100%. That's why it's important to be part of these groups.
Yeah.
It's a good way to, as you just mentioned, digest crypto. It's so easy to get lost in the sauce. There's all these different terminologies. You can go down so many different rabbit holes. But having a good curated place, bringing you alpha, giving you breakdowns in an easy to understand way, goes a long way, and it
Yeah.
makes it easier to navigate crypto
Like what we
for
were
the new
saying,
users out there.
what we were saying about Circle and its IPO being incredibly successful.
Hmm.
That's very bullish for crypto. That says like,
Stable
hey,
coin.
there's opportunity in crypto that's going to get more
Oh
trade
yeah,
fight people in, and I think this could be the catalyst to seeing more launches, like maybe Kraken launches an IPO,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
traditional finance has better bridges into crypto assets. So yeah, that's
right.
something I'm looking at.
I
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
also, of course, it's very bullish for crypto, and I'm very happy to see it. But also, another take though is that it was actually in the best interest of actually the United States for Circle to have a successful launch and for USDC to be, the most successful stablecoin or any USD based stablecoin. Mind
Yes.
you, recently, only a few years ago, the US dollar officially lost its reserve currency status, right? And
Oh
let's say
yes.
crypto goes to where, let's say crypto goes to where we were headed, where we plan for it to go, and USDC is the main stable coin. That's actually good for the US dollar because these stablecoin companies like Circle, like USDT, they're buying US Treasury bills, right? And that's actually their main revenue source because they have all of this capital. They go ahead, they buy US Treasury
Love it.
bills. That's good for the US economy and that's good for the Treasury, right? Of course, the US Treasury. So I think it's a bullish thing. And I think that's sort of, I'm not saying it's being propped up. Circle's extremely strong, but it's in the best interest of the United States
Of
for
everyone.
USD, exactly, and of everyone for the USD stablecoin to be the most successful stablecoin, which it already
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't want to lose to the digital euro, the yen,
Yeah,
anything else. Like they have a hold on the digital market right now. So if they lose that, that would have been terrible.
They're the
So
world reserve currency, so that's why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they have to maintain that power, or else, like like Ray Dalio said, it's going to be a shift in power. If they don't have a
Mhm.
way to maintain it, it's going to be moved to another country.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, guys, we are closing in on 90 minutes. Let's go over some of the comments. We got people here supporting. We're gonna start at the most recent and try to catch up to the later ones. Let's see. Appreciate David here. They're loving the streams. I'm glad you guys are showing up for these. Kind
Appreciate
of
it.
scheduled it up like 2 hours ago. So glad people showed up there. We're gonna answer questions as we can. Some of the chat has been kind of funny, and because people are engaging with each other. So someone
Right,
asked,
right,
"Is
right.
helium a good buy?" And then Swaymoon responded, "Dude, you're fried." just
I'm
just
actually
because
bearish on helium.
yeah, it's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Deep in is tough. There's a lot of rewards and not enough demand.
Yeah,
So
no,
let me
that's
see if we
fair.
can take a look at the chart.
That's fair. First of all, David, just want to say thank you. Appreciate the love there. And also love to see the community engaging with each other, the Helium, Sway Moon.
Mhm.
Thanks to everyone for joining the show. We're going to be bringing you more takes, more alpha, and just more crypto convo. Oh, PB was still
Absolutely.
here. Oh, okay, perfect. I didn't know if he
Yeah.
left. I don't know if he left the stream.
So yeah, helium probably not a great buy. Just a little dangerous because no demand and like nothing really being built there. Too many things. Deepin is tough. Deepin is where you
Deepin is
make
Very
money
tough.
mining, but you don't make money investing.
yeah.
So
Speaking of Deepin,
yeah.
I bought Carrier One in Sui Base Camp, and I
Uh huh.
haven't heard aside from just the confirmation email of the purchase. So that's probably one also problem, like the inter-region rules,
Hmm.
something like that. So like purchasing Deepin, I got Aether Edge. There was a time you could actually ship it here. So for this one,
Oh,
I'm not sure what's happening because the first thing they mentioned, they couldn't sell it in Dubai specifically, so you have to go through the store. So it's been a month or more already from Carrier One, and what's happening? I haven't heard anything from the shipping or whatnot. It's paid, so all right. That's the challenges of Deepin as well, shipping it
Yeah.
place.
yeah. Okay, I have a quick question then. Here's the thing. Here's my big issue with not just Deepin, not just GameFi, but any single sort of crypto protocol that has a reward token that people are holding as an investment, that people are earning as their rewards for doing whatever it might be. Game you're
Hmm.
playing, the Deepin device that you're running on some network, the node you're operating, you name it, anything that you're doing to earn a token reward, holding those tokens, to me, you're always going to have sell pressure. It's always going to be down only. If I was getting any of these rewards, I'm dumping them because anybody else who's participating in what you're doing, they're getting these tokens as well. You're getting diluted, and there's always going to be that downward spiral unless they have really good revenues that outpace that sell pressure and to actually tie back into the token, right? And
Right.
so
Very well
that's
said.
right, and actually tie back into the token, which is also rare. For it to be like a significant amount that's actually, let's say, buying back and burning the token, for instance. So there's that constant sell pressure and whatever it might be. Anytime I hear reward token, helium, you mentioned you're waiting for this device, your carrier one device, any device that you're setting up. If the main token is their reward token, I don't even want to participate because it's just kind of like a musical chairs race to sell on the
Yeah.
day. You see that your rewards, it's like, oh, one day you're like, oh yeah, like I'm getting a cool passive, let's say 10K a month from this. And then oh, now we're down to 7K, and then it's like, oh, 3K, then 2K. Then it's like, oh, I'm happy when I hit $100 on the month. Then it's like, oh, and it'll always go down because everybody is
Coping,
Mhm.
selling the reward.
coping.
So you get it.
Yeah.
You get it. So
Where
that's
yeah,
my
you can
issue
only
with
make money
any of
mining,
those. Yeah.
but you have to
And
sell
so
immediately.
Definitely.
exactly.
So this is
And
more of
then
like
some of
the
them will be,
piercing.
yeah, and
Go
then
ahead,
some
go
of
ahead.
them will even be, a little bit sneaky with it. Like my Aether node, checker node rewards. I have an Aether node that I got on the sale. And when you're actually withdrawing your rewards, there's this huge cooldown period. During that time, you're not earning any rewards. And if you want to pull out 100% of it, they give you like over 50% haircut on all your rewards and your investment. So they do things to mitigate this, but it still doesn't change the fact that anyone who has these are participating are getting these same tokens, bringing that constant sell pressure. So that's my issue with any reward token. If I'm holding a crypto in my portfolio, it can't be one that gets over diluted, pumped out into the markets, whether it's staking rewards, whether it's gaming rewards, whether it's Deepin, you name it. Thank you for
It's
listening.
not just gravity;
Yeah.
it's going
You
down.
know,
So, Prof Top, I wanted to talk more about Chirp Network and what they were building because they actually sent me one of their
chirp.
devices. Chirp Network, that's
Oh,
the same thing as I forgot what the other term you used. Carrier One. Yeah, Chirp
oh
and
yeah,
Carrier One is kind of the same thing. So they
yep.
sent me a device for mining, which is great. I got probably $1,000 in token rewards. I sold immediately because I'm not gonna stake it
Oh
because the staking
yeah.
rewards are like way too high. So I
Yeah.
haven't shilled them.
Well
They gave
played.
me one as a test, and like, oh, okay. They said talk about it if you want. I was like, all right, but it all it does is send out my Wi-Fi signal to other people. No one's
Oh yeah,
really
that's the
using
same
it.
device probably.
Yeah, it's hard to compete with you know the network connection in Taiwan. So it's like there's not really a lot of purpose for it, but
Right
to
now.
say you're creating this infrastructure. So I think it's too early. I think they need another angle. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's tough. Yeah.
One thing I remember about these type of projects. Did you guys play the Nintendo DS?
Of
Yes.
course.
So imagine like a community game in an area. That's where you connect. It's not the wireless LAN, but rather you have a community. Anyone who goes through there, you know that they're in the side that certain range, and then they visit your place. You have like your DS. I forgot the Miiverse or
Picto chat?
something. Yeah, those things, or the games have that certain feature or bonuses
Yeah, yeah.
depending on what kind of game. I
Mhm.
think
Right.
gamifying Deepin is a better way than just sharing Wi-Fi, because certain
Yeah.
countries like your place, Dan, has more better bandwidth. Just like depend, but the Philippines has really bad bandwidth
Oh,
overall,
I see. Mhm.
so you can't really maximize it as much. But if these major providers are really good to be used, it has to be strategic. You don't just sell to anyone. And for me, if these things are gamified and there are certain games or infrastructures built on this, just like an LL blockchain, that's where you build. But for these deepen, there has to be like a gaming structure. Like, for example, you're playing Genshin Impact. You know that these people are around here. You can invite them. There's like a different way to check. It's not just they're
Yeah.
online, because they're
Right.
cutting down the noise. You can connect. You can have a small
Right.
room that you have, do co-op, Monster Hunter, those big titles. I think that's a better way to put it. But of course, these has to be business to business partnerships. But definitely,
Mhm, mhm.
when we go and play these
Right.
games, we want to have a better way to meet people that who are playing it. Maybe that even if it's on sleep mode, your device, you would know that there are people around there, and it's like your digivice or something. Like,
Yeah.
oh, there's a boss monster here, like
Yeah,
Pokemon
yeah. No, I
Go.
feel you.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are really good things. If you're playing Dragon
Yeah.
Ball or something, oh, there's a boss
Yeah.
battle here or whatever, you can join in. Why not? Yeah, go ahead, guys. What's your thoughts?
I mean, that would be fantastic. Something that, links people up for IRL events that have similar interests. I'm kind of surprised there isn't something like that where it's like in real time, like, hey, these are people who are interested in doing something very specifically, and you meet them up. Like, okay, we're going to play basketball, we're going to play video games, we're going to play
Right.
poker.
Oh yeah, we could probably
Right.
make
Right.
something
Right.
out of these
Kind of
things.
like a Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to carpool somewhere.
Pokemon
Yeah.
Go, but like
Yeah.
for
Oh yes.
yeah, no, yeah, 100%. That's cool. That's cool, and it gives you a sense of community, right? And stuff like that. So I think that does have some good synergies with the crypto space.
It's its
Crypto
own
is very
community
community
centric.
Mhm.
oriented, right? It's very community centric. Very well said, and yeah, that makes a
Yeah.
lot of
And it
sense.
also
I
helps.
mean, Deepin, I guess, is trying to connect in a
Mhm.
different way. But I think what you said sounds a lot
It's
more
free
interesting,
marketing.
right? Because you would be
Yeah.
surprised how many crypto
Yeah,
users or people who
gun
are
holders from here or
interested in
whatever.
crypto are just
Right.
around you, just proximity
But
wise, right?
also,
and you would never know. So it connects
Yeah,
more
but
people.
also like maybe we don't want it crypto specifically. I don't want like a robbery app. It's like, all right, here's the people to rob in your area.
Bitcoin
You
alert!
know?
Bitcoin holder
Pretty much,
incoming.
that's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's definitely, of course, safety
yeah,
Oh
implications there, but
yes,
just
not
I guess
wallet
something
specific.
community based. That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah,
Pretty games, man.
Yeah.
yeah. You gotta be careful with that. So yeah, don't want too
Yo,
much info.
oh damn. Okay, quick. Sorry to switch it to this. Sway Moon just said something interesting. He said, "Yo, does Player Lounge have a stock?" I'm not sure if he's talking about Player Lounge, the gaming wagering app. I've used that actually before, where you could play games. Sway Moon, if you're listening, let me know if that's what you're talking about. Is that a gaming? Is that a gaming company? Because something very, very interesting with that I want to talk about on another episode. That can tie in really well with crypto. Not sure if any of you have heard of Players Lounge,
Mm-mm.
but actually might be working on something a little bit similar for the space. But that's a story for another day. Players Lounge. So you guys aren't
No, I
familiar
don't
with
know what
that.
that is.
Sorry
No,
to
that's
interrupt.
good.
That has struck that struck something when I read that, so I had to jump on that real quick. But stay tuned for more of that. More on
Yeah,
that later.
I
More
know
on that.
we're gonna miss a lot of comments here, but I gotta highlight this one. People want to know more about Proftop and Josh.
Hey,
Yeah, we got studs
After
on
you,
the
Prof.
show.
Thank you, Dave. Oh, you
Oh,
put me.
I'm
Oh
a
yeah.
highlight. I'm a highlight.
oh me? Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, that's a bit tough question to ask, but yeah, I'm relatively new to crypto. If ever, I started 2021 during the gaming era, but definitely didn't stop there and wanted to. That's why I'm Prof Toff, because I'm a Pokemon professor. So the Prof Toff is also about educating in crypto. So that's what I do here in the Philippines, and I've been doing that for quite some time. And in terms of like career and background, aside from being a content creator or KOL, I've been working with exchanges as BDs and a KOL manager. So that's probably why I'm so diverse into the business side, and the insights I have on tokens and how exchanges view it is something that I really put in the picture, aside from just marketing and having fun, because as a Pokemon professor, you tend to be just like a 10-year-old kid for all the days of your life. But yeah, passing it on to the next guy.
Love that, Prof. Toff. I love that. Dan,
Dan, you back?
if you're around,
There
I'm
we
not sure if you
go.
took a little
Thanks,
break.
Dan.
Oh, there we go. Appreciate the intro. All right, guys. My name is Josh, aka GPT Josh. Been in the crypto space. I've known about crypto for a long time. Maybe 2014. I made a group chat with my family, told everyone to buy Bitcoin. Nobody really listened. My sister bought some, and she did well with that. I think she's still holding actually. But I was just a kid in high school. I didn't really have any money. Um, so I kind of put that down. Everyone's just like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you know about investing or business, right? I was just playing football. So I put that down and I continued going to school, playing football. And I actually got injured one season in college football. And so I was down for a bit, gave me time to get on the laptop, do some research. And in 2019, I got deeper into crypto and I was dabbling, but I wasn't all the way in. 2021, DeFi summer, we have Olympus DAO, we have Rome DAO, and there's some crazy stuff. I got into the Rome DAO pre-sale, pretty much a fork of Olympus DAO. Long story short, that was my welcome to crypto moment. We had did pretty much 100x on that, and that was like a crazy experience. And then anyway, long story short, from there I got into building, I got into content, I got onto the Coinsider YouTube channel, very strong channel with 300K. I met Full Value Dan. What's crazy is both of those channels I was watching when I was researching crypto, that time when I was injured in football. And now look at us today. We're working together every single day. Me, Full Value Dan, Coinsider Kevin, and building cool things in crypto. So I'm very happy with where we're at now, what we're building, what we're doing, and where we're going. So that's really, I guess, kind of a quick summary, quick gist of how I got into crypto. There's a lot more details that I'm sparing, but that's just the quick intro onto how I got into crypto.
Hey,
Thank you.
applause there.
Appreciate that, Dan.
fellow DBZ fans.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Appreciate it.
So yeah, that was a great intro, man. You guys are always prepared. You guys are great to chat with, good to bounce ideas off of.
Appreciate it.
But man, we're like at 100 minutes. This this is kind of my limit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no preparation, by the way. It's off the
Recharge
top. No
time.
preparation. I didn't plan that. But next time, I'm gonna do a story time on King
Yes.
Capital for the ones who are watching on King Capital channel. I will do like a more dedicated story time, and it's actually quite interesting. Dan knows a few of the details. There's a few twists and turns. It's a quite a riveting.
It could be a
story,
Netflix movie.
I'm gonna do a
Yeah.
proper production. Yeah, I'm gonna do a proper production for that. It'll be a little bit cinematic. I'll make it like a long form video rather than a live stream.
Now,
So stay tuned for
I know
that.
we couldn't get to everyone's comments, but if you ask them in the Discord, we're gonna answer them. I'm gonna spend some time. I'm gonna answer those questions. So please feel free to join and ask there. I think the link works. Someone said it didn't, but we'll fix it if it doesn't. Otherwise, there's links. Now, if you want to find these guys, I've linked them in
The off-brand.
off-brand Discord. Now, if you want to find Josh and Prof Top, I've left the links to them in the description. So be sure to follow them, or you could also find them in the Discord, and yeah, we can chat there. So this has been great, guys. Thank you for your time. Good to do these weekly chats and updates, and I think everyone got some good insights. We might have not found like the best opportunities. That's like what's trending right now, but we're always going to be ready. We're going to be there researching, learning more, and we'll be available. All right. Any parting words, guys?
Yes, thank you to anyone who is watching over on the King Capital channel and on the Full Value Dan channel. Always a pleasure to hop on here and just talk crypto, just chop it up. This is just fully candid conversation. We didn't plan anything. We didn't come with any notes, even topics. We just hop in and do it organically. So appreciate everyone for just joining in on the convo. You can catch us over in the off-brand Discord, link in the description. Now, off-brand, that's some alpha for you guys right there. That's my parting alpha because we're building some really cool stuff. Can't spoil too much, but all I can say is definitely join the Discord. You could even just come chop it up with us. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. Be sure you subscribe to the King Capital channel. I'm going to be making a lot more content and doing long form videos. I'm already posting some shorts. This is my second live stream, but we're going to be dropping a lot of gems over on the channel. So be sure you subscribe and like the video so that more people can see this live and that we can grow our community. So thank you all for tuning in, and I'm going to catch you in the next one. Peace.
All right, just some quick ones for me, and shout outs to everyone who's watching Full Value Dan. You know, before I joined in, I was a fan of Value Dan. I love his content. So it's really a grateful and humbling experience to be part of this podcast or this episode. And yes, you know how candid it is when you just stepped into the chair, you just woke up and my hair is like this. So yeah, do check us out here in social media. You'll find us in the off-brand crypto Discord. And catch me and the other guys there. So Prof Toph is active somehow in X. I'm mainly in Instagram and TikTok. So I'm changing a bit on my contents, but if you do want to check up or converse with us as well, do check my channels. That's TikTok Prof_Toph, and same thing for my X. So let's engage, and yeah, thank you Dan and Josh for having me here. So definitely I'll be seeing you more, guys. Thanks, Dan.
Awesome. I appreciate everyone's time. Thanks for joining the live stream, and we'll catch you next week. All right. Bye, everyone.